The Detroit Lions are on a hunt for finding a defensive end opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and that's really been the story for a long time with the defense. Was just like, man, somebody help out Aiden Hutchinson. Well, really quietly over a couple months ago, the Lions added Mitchell Agude, and we haven't really talked about him too much. And so if you look here at ESPN puts out just for us to look at basically a depth chart. And here you look at the defense. You got Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport is who's going to be opposite of him. But then they have Mitchell Agude listed right behind Aiden Hutchinson. Again, I know this is just let's just basically throw in some names, but for the most part they're 100% right on the starting lineup. But then you got Betts here. That's going to be another defensive end that we're keeping our eye on. And we talk about James Houston, but we have not talked about Mitchell Agude as a guy that can do something. Now, he is a young player that's a couple years removed from last year was his rookie year. Now this is his second year. He comes to us from, let's take a look at this. And there's some interesting things on him. So first of all, this guy is 6'4", 245 pounds. He went to UCLA and then final year transferred to Miami. Let me back that up. Actually, he went to Riverside Community College for 2 years, then UCLA for 2 years, and then Miami for in year 2022. And then in 2023, he goes undrafted, but goes to the Miami Dolphins. And then the Lions pick him up this offseason. So what you have is a guy that's interesting because let's pull up his RAS score. His hand size, fine. Arm length, good. They don't think he has the ideal height and weight. His bench press wasn't great at 19, but still like respectable. But he's got a good vertical, good broad jump, 40-yard dash, fine. Shuttle. I mean, everything's like okay. But we have to keep an eye on this guy because nobody's talking about him. We've kind of forgotten about him. We've looking at who's going to be that guy to really step up and be something. Well, the reason that we're kind of focusing on him is because James Houston did the same thing, right? Community college guy, goes to a bigger school, unknown, doesn't have the ideal size and weight, but yet is able to be a huge contributor to the Lions when he was healthy. It's like, okay, like that's what we need. That's where we at with this guy. So I love that. And I love to see that he could possibly bring something that we just haven't seen from that other side of Aiden Hutchinson. And so you could see he was at my UCLA, then did go to Miami just for that final year. But this is a big dude, like a beast of a dude. They have him listed as linebacker, but he's a defensive rush end. Like same thing as James Houston. James Houston is listed as a linebacker, but he's a straight up rush end, can't really cover. Like, let's go. Love that. Okay. Like, just, you never know. Need you, Mitchell. Need you. So Mitchell Agude right there, because we're really spoiled and fortunate at this point now. Spoiled is the wrong word. We haven't been spoiled as Lions fans, but we're starting to get there where, man, you start looking around the offense and the defense, and it's like, where are the holes? There are no holes. Maybe we want a little more depth at wide receiver. Hopefully one of these two guys steps up. Tight end loaded. Offensive line, top 3 in the NFL. Defensively now, looking really sharp, and here's why. If you go to Pride of Detroit, they were talking about which Lions player had the most promising reports of week 1 of OTAs. Of course, Jameson Williams, which is awesome, just very encouraging, but just straight up play on the field. I was most encouraged by a player opposite him, Carlton Davis. Remember, we traded for Carlton Davis from the Bucs. He is what we believe to be cornerback number 1. His stickiness, physical nature was apparent. I know we're all excited about the new rookie corners in the room, but I don't forget Detroit believes they have traded for CB1 in Davis. And I think we really have to admit and just be honest that at the last half of last year, Cam Sutton, who we thought was CB1, was really bad. Kendall Vildor's trying his heart out there. Josh Jacobs can't even get on the field. He's out. Yeah. Who else was even our corners? I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh. Really bad, really, really bad. I think it wasn't, man, Cam Sutton needs help out there. No, he just something happened halfway through the year, and it was like, what is going on? This is really, really bad. So insert a corner in Davis that is CB1. Talk about, if you look down here now, Carlton Davis, CB1, Terrion Arnold, plug and play, Rakestraw. Okay. Vildor still there. Robertson. Emmanuel Mosley might come back. So now we're 6 deep at corner. Got Brian Branch, who we love playing at that nickel position. And then Iffy, Kirby Joseph. We don't have any depth at safety, which is not good. I don't like that. But Brian Branch can slide over there. Meek Robertson could come into the nickel. So there's a lot of options that the Lions have. And so as you start to say, okay, if Carlton Davis is the man and Terrion Arnold can step in, then our secondary is good. Our linebackers are a year older. Jack Campbell's being called just a beast already. He's in his second year. Anzalone, we know, is solid. Derek Barnes, maybe he can get it figured out finally. I mean, he's getting closer and closer each year, but and then defensive line wise, DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil. I mean, okay. Who's going to run on that? And then defensive end pass rush wise, if James Houston and Betts can be what we think, or Marcus Davenport can come in, we've done videos on him. He's been injured. Be healthy and let's go. And then Agude could be something that we haven't really seen. So the Lions have an offense, a defense that's top to bottom really, really solid. Now, you go back here and you look at special teams. Now, another area that we have one of the best punters in the NFL. We don't talk about that. Kicker has always been like, do we have a kicker or do we not? And I think we've always had a kicker, but because Dan Campbell doesn't use him, it's like, is he not a kicker then? Do we? But I think Dan Campbell's like, no, he's fine. I just want to go for it. All right. So it's going to be interesting. So Dave Phipp was going in and he said, talking about the new kickoff rules, and he says, we're experimenting. We're looking at different situations, positions on the field, how we're going to play it, mindset, mentality of it, kind of all of it, just trying to figure out things, doing a drill. So as a reminder, most people will know by now, but teams basically line up on each, or the return team lines up here, and they have to kick the ball, land in a certain spot right here. Once it does, then everybody goes. And so it's interesting because I think there's going to be a lot of different options and different things that teams can do. And so hopefully they can have some fun with it and brings that play back into the NFL versus, man, a team score, especially the opposing team. The opposing team scores, and it's just like, it feels like an eternity. But if you score a touchdown, then you're watching the replays. You're like, yeah, what do the announcers have to say? This is the greatest thing ever. We just scored. And you're listening, and then that break from when you score to when the next team takes the ball, that 8 minutes doesn't seem so long, but when they score and you have to just sit there, it's brutal. But this is like, oh, we're gonna get back, kick off. Let's see, I don't know, kickoff return. So let's check it out. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're super close to 20,000 views or subs, and we'll see all of you on the next one.